It's good to see you.
That's all it is. City office, the term of office, your address, and then you just sign.
That makes sense.
That's your constable. But it's the same for mayor, clerk, judge, because they're all elected.
That's only real look about
That one I'm aware of.
Yeah, so no one runs either, so just automatically voted back in.
Yes, or we did.
I didn't see it.
I know you can write in
So
somewhere.
I knew
you
she
have
would
to,
need that.
yes, so you have to officially declare that you're gonna be a writing meeting. You pretty much just send out a little letter that says. And I believe there's a form and you send it into them. And they're writing it. And then you gotta get so many signatures. There's so many copies of something goes through. You gotta spell your name right.
Yeah, so.
So for a writing candidate, you really don't have to do it.
Yeah, but like when you go over now, I haven't been there, they don't need to.
But he was on council. More by like 13 votes.
So we'll see what happens. I should have listened.
I seriously had to get home.
Yeah, yeah,
Anybody has any ideas?
yeah, and Amy already said that we should.
It will be, man. You gotta refine.
We gotta get construction over.
Yeah.
So can we do that as a group?
I think so.
There would not be enough, I think to get everybody involved. People feel more part of it, so.
Yeah, and I think creating this parameter that we want out here says.
Already ideas to. Crazy. Right.
And I got a guy here moving from Friday.
I talked to him the other night.
I just thought that for some reason that lady, she was telling me for a half hour. Okay, not the son, but the mom was always there. That's my rental. It's got a great lot. It's a huge lot. It's got a big dog, it's on a pool. Yeah, absolutely. That's a class. You know, there's a basement. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. I think that's what.
Okay, it's almost 7 o'clock. I'll make sure everybody has their mics on. Can you hear me? Anybody hear me?
I heard you. Make sure you have your mics on.
You have your mics on?
Just turn it down.
Okay, it's almost 7 o'clock.
I'm gonna turn mine off.
Yes, you are.
You good on this?
I did. I have that in my notes. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock, and we have everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. Next, we have Katie do the roll call.
Schumate. Cox.
Here.
McNabb. Molnar.
Here.
Valentine.
Here.
Walden.
Here.
Wood.
Here. Okay, next is to excuse absent members. So we need a motion to excuse Mayor Schumate.
Motion to excuse Mayor Schumate?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? None? Okay. Katie, please call the roll.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes. Okay. Next then is the approval of the agenda, and we have 2 additions. So I'm going to read those off. The first addition is to purchase 2 new electronic poll book laptops. This is from the city clerk, and she will give the information about it in her report. And the other addition is the prisoner lodging agreement with Flat Rock, and Chief Bullard will be giving that report later on in the meeting. So now we have a motion to approve the agenda with additions.
Motion to approve the agenda with the additions?
Second?
Okay, discussion? Okay, Katie, call the roll.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes,
Cox.
Yes.
okay. That now brings us to public comments. So if anybody has a comment, you can step up to the podium and state your name and address.
Good evening. Brandon Dix, 30664 Bayview, Planet Earth, Milky Way Galaxy. Chief Bullard, I just want to congratulate you. We've talked a couple times, and I don't think you ever pulled me over for anything bad. But, I hear people talk on the street and, with your position saying you didn't deserve it, it's because someone would left or whatever, but you deserve it. I think, your dedication and your hard work, that's the only thing I got to say tonight. So thank you, welcome to it, and I think it's a great choice.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Mariah Van Kelberg. I reside at 29829 South Gibraltar Road. I come before you this evening as a resident of the city of Gibraltar, and I just want to make that very clear. I am here as a resident, nothing more, nothing less. Let me start by saying the First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects freedom of speech, religion, and press. It also protects the right to assemble, the petition, the government, the right to express yourself through words and actions, the right to practice your religion without government interference, the right to express yourself through publications and discrimination, the right to gather peacefully and lawful process, and the right to ask the government to right the wrong or correct a problem. I just want to make sure those here at the council and those here in the room and those listening this evening know what the First Amendment states. With that being said, I'd like to say the following. On August 12, 2024, council persons Robert Molnar, Richard Cox, and Arthur McNabb abstained from Resolution 24-008, which is a violation of Section 6.7 of the City Charter. On October 14, 2024, councilpersons Robert Molnar, Richard Cox, and Arthur McNabb voted yes on Resolution 24-016, resulting in the removal of Police Chief Richard Tangway. That is fully approved, the fully approved statement by the county courts that is atop of each recall petition for each council person that is being recalled. So those who may think that we are peddling something else or otherwise mistaken, after those meetings happened, I was in shock and appalled by, just like most of the people in the great city, and I wanted to get involved and help correct the wrongs in any way I could. That in turn meant helping with the recall efforts and stating how unhappy I am by placing a recall sign in my yard, obtaining signatures, and attending and listening to council meetings thereafter, just like so many other residents in Gibraltar. Again, that is my First Amendment right to do so. So who am I? I'm a daughter, I'm a mom, I'm a stepmom, I'm a wife, and I'm a Rotarian. But first and foremost, I'm a resident of the city of Gibraltar who is not happy with what has happened and continues to happen in these chambers, online, and within our city. Just like you sitting here in those seats in this room, we all hold many titles. If we are parents, spouses, volunteers of groups, organizations, or council members, These titles do not define us in every setting of our lives. I am not defined by Mariah Van Kelberg, wife of my wife, mom of my children, daughter of my mother, club secretary to the Gibraltar Rockwood Rotary Club. I do not introduce myself as such unless it is in the right setting at the right times to permit me to do so. Just as well as I do not see any of you as such. Inside this room, you are councilpersons Cox, Molnar, McNabb, Valentine, Wood, Walden, and Mayor Shoemate. And you are addressed as such. But outside of this room, you are just Gibraltar residents like the rest of us. I've never blurred the lines of who I am or what my title is. If I have blurred them, please show me when and where. The city council, the city treasurer, your spouses, your friends, and your supporters have blurred my titles and blurred the lines of who I am and who I represent and when. You have all added the title as Rotarian to my name when speaking of me or others. There have been many accusations about me around town or as Rotary online within the walls of this building, as well as about the others in this community, of those who we are or who we stand for. I cannot speak for them, but I will be for sure to speak for myself. There have been many claims that I have used Rotary as a push for the recall, or that I should not have signs in my yard because I'm a Rotarian, or that I have made many posts referencing Rotary with the recall effort, when in fact all these statements are untrue. They are a defamation of my character and to the Rotary. You all want to attack me, go right ahead. Here I am, but placing Rotary in with my name is a shame on all of you. I have supported this community in so many ways. If being a Rotarian, helping raise money for the fire department, volunteering with other organizations in the community, and helping or hosting many events and raising thousands of dollars over the years. I am very proud to be a Rotarian. I work very hard each day to hold that title, and I will continue to do so. But that is not who all I am. How many of you can say you have done the same? With these fingers being pointed at Rotary for my personal actions not only hurts my heart as a Rotarian, but as a citizen of Gibraltar. But most important, you're not hurting but most important, you're also hurting this community and the others in the Rotary that the Rotary serves. I am now seeing online, and I have many screenshots to prove, and hearing on the streets that Rotary are now frauds. Mrs. McNabb's statement. What if they get audited? Is there a paper trail where these funds are actually going? That insinuates fraud. We are grouped in your statements of through hook or crook. Mr. Fonte's words, not mine. That's how you referred to us in your special meeting on February 9th, under Section 8 of your meeting, again stating by definition, by any means necessary, implying that someone will achieve something regardless of whether the methods are honest or dishonest. Essentially meaning by any way possible. Who were you referring to in that statement? Were you referring to Rotary, or are you referring to yourself? The Rotary is political, wrong again. And that all Gibraltar Rotarians are peddling the recall. Per Mrs. Dow and Mrs. Garrett online, again, untrue. Per Mrs. Cox, kudos to all Gibraltar Rotary Club's members for expressing their First Amendment rights. Again, Mrs. Cox, the Rotary Club is a small 11 members, and 6 live in Gibraltar. There are other Rotary clubs to join, insinuating to others not to join the Gibraltar Rotary Club. These posts and statements are slander and defamation of character, and the finger pointing goes on and on. These are just some of the things that are out there. Well, guess what? These people reflect you and the council because they are your spouses, they are your friends, and they are your supporters making these statements. And this is what the council has caused and continues to cause. So it eases this, it just adds icing to the cake for the recall efforts. So let this be a warning to any individual groups, clubs, or civil organizations within the community. They will be after you next. Rotary has been tainted by the bad press, and it will take years to recover. But I bet in the end it will make me a better person, a citizen, and a Rotarian, because now I will work even harder to support my community. I believed in the words that you all peddled around town about being transparent, open, and honest. So much so that I even had a sign in my yard supporting Mr. Cox. I praised him in every step I could. Boy, was I wrong. You have all continued to make motions without thinking about what the outcome is afterwards. This is an at-will council and does first and thinks second. Some examples, but not limited to the motions made for the firing of Police Chief Tangway. Filling the city council seats with a person who was employed with the fire department at the time of the said fraud investigations, as well as before the motions timeline are filled to fill seats. Also, filling the treasurer position before the motion date for the position. Oh, and let's not forget the motion to remove 501c3s from the city buildings. Repercussions from this motion are forthcoming. You have also made motions on topics that are not on the agenda, and those are a violation of the city charter. I thought Councilman Molnar was the snake for the motion that was made to fire Chief Tangway from his job. But it came very clear very quickly that you are the gardener snake, and Mr. Fonte, you are the python looking to eat up and swallow everything in your path, no matter who or what it hurts. Last I checked, you were just the city treasurer, but you seem to think that you hold the title of mayor and council by the way that you speak in these meetings and the things that you state. If I am not mistaken, and correct me if I am wrong, but you are the city treasurer, you're only the keeper of the finances and have no voting power. So why are you making decisions for the council to make motions on things that do not fall under your title? I believe there is wrongdoing in this city. Do I believe there is wrongdoing within the city, within this room or in the departments? To me, Judge Kern, do I believe that there is wrongdoing in the city or within the room or the city departments? That is not for me to judge currently, because I have not seen proof, just only heard words from the council. If it comes to the facts that these things are happening, then I hope there is punishment for those who are involved. Should there be checks and balances and investigations and research? Yes, but that does not mean that you point fingers without knowing the facts and the truth. There are many great residents within this city that deserve answers and better leadership. So I'll leave you with two things. First, I was raised to stand up if you see something wrong, speak up and help and make the change. So here I am today, standing up for myself to make sure it is very clear of who I am and who I stand for. Second, I raised my children with the following statement: liars, cheats, and thieves get nowhere in life, and to always keep that in mind when you make decisions and choices throughout your life. I guess I was wrong in that statement because I see a whole lot of you up there and within this room. The only question I have is, which category do you all fall in? Thank you for your time.
Any other comments? No? Okay. Oh,
My name's Todd Johnson. I live at 30770 Bayview. This is my tax bill, correct? Does that make me your boss? I mean, does that make me partially your boss? You all report to me, correct? To us. I moved here from Ecorse, and I'm sure any of you that have been downriver for any length of time know what the history there is. I'm 60 years old, so many of you are younger. My father, we moved from Kentucky, couldn't read or write. I'm a first-generation college student. I watched a lot of these things go on. I moved back to E-course after I graduated from pharmacy school, and it was pretty appalling to see some of the things happen there. If I placed a sign in my yard, I got a ticket from someone else in power, ordinance, what have you, because my garbage can was out at the wrong time. Similar thing happened when I moved here. I had a utility trailer in my driveway. I was new. I wasn't quite accepted into any of the pocket groups that were already established here. Some were welcoming, some weren't. I guess that's anywhere. I have seen a little bit. I'm kicked off the Gibraltar Life website. I don't know what I did. Probably one of my levity statements when I see a bunch of people bickering like Karen's gone wild, I'll say I love puppies. And I'll say it here, I love puppies. I can't stand the damn golf carts, but I love puppies. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it seems like there's a selective enforcement of a lot of the ordinance, rules, what have you. And judging from some of the things she said, I don't know. I have no horse in that race. I don't know. All I know is the Rotary makes one hell of a strong drink. And I'm not trying to make light of anything here, but I think it's an embarrassment at this point. I had suspicions of this man, Molnar. I don't even know you. But I was like, oh man, we got this business guy. He's on the council. That's really not fair of me to do that. I don't know him. You don't know me. But what I'm seeing here is a lot of tit for tat type stuff, and it's pretty embarrassing because I moved out here to get away from that crap. And E-course, the ramifications of putting the wrong sign in your yard could have a little bit more severe things happen to you than, he said, she said on Facebook. I just think that we need to be careful, guided, and I sent Garrett a message not long ago, the mayor, and he said there was a progress report in November, like a 12-month progress report. I'd like to know how I get that. He said it's on a Facebook site, but I couldn't find it. I just think that it's really embarrassing when I go to work and I have people say to me, what's going on in your town? And what's even more embarrassing is I haven't been engaged enough to even try to figure it out. But I'm going to pay my taxes tomorrow, and I'm going to start trying to find out. And I voted for several of you up here because I thought I wanted change, and I don't know if it's for the better or for worse. So I'm new to the place. I've been here about 8 years, and it seems like it's kind of evolved into a really tit-for-tat craziness. And I watch some of the council meetings. I work afternoons, so I can't come to them. But I made it to this one, and here I am. I'll be more engaged. You will be seeing me. And I'll read some of the charters, and I'll try to get familiar with some of those things. I mean, when I got a ticket for my utility trailer in my driveway, knee-jerk reaction, got in my car, and I drove around town. And some of the who's who's had campers that were closer to the road than mine. I thought, when am I going to be that guy and start knocking on the door and saying, hey, did you get one? I asked my neighbor, I said, did you get one? He said, no. And then upon further investigation, the next one I got was his. So I just think we need to step a little lightly, have a little bit more respect in this town. I moved out here because it's a beautiful place. I mean, we're blessed. And I don't think anyone in here feels any different. It's an awesome community, not always as accepting as, you would like it to be. And for God's sake, man, I grew up in E-course. Man, y'all got to learn how to keep your dogs in your yard or something. I don't know what's going around this place. But anyways, I just want to let you know, I'll be engaged more, and I'll be coming up here. And I don't have anything slanderous or good, for that matter, to say about anyone, because I really haven't been engaged or done my due diligence. But I will, and I'll probably come up here cockier the next time, acting like I am your boss because I'm a taxpayer. And I get water in my basement just like the next person. So if you're doing a good job, I want to read the progress report. When I moved in, and the first thing they said was, I used to joke with Cindy Lear, I was like, I want to see what, you know, what your job's going to be like. And we would joke about it. I had no intention of trying to be a clerk or anything, you know, to kind of usurp somebody that's been here for so many years, like that was even possible. But it just seems like the selective enforcement of rules and regulations goes on everywhere, but sometimes there's a little bit more of a blatant, obvious tone to it. And I'm afraid to put a sign in my yard. I didn't feel strongly about recalling anybody because I didn't know what's it all about, you know. I mean, I talk to people and I hear one thing, you know, about money being paid out for overtime and this and that, but it's always like somebody's got a horse in that race, so you got to be careful who you talk to. Again, I'm kicked off of Gibraltar Life. How am I going to know when my water main breaks? I mean, I'm being partially, you know, jestful here, but this town is embarrassing itself right now. I think there's been, I don't know how the history is with Mayor Dennison, you know, and I jumped on Facebook too, a clock tower. I went wild on that too because I thought my basement had water in it. I don't need your clock tower. There was talk about relining all the sewers. And I live on Bayview, and I think I'm at the low point on the island, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think my sewer was relined. They came by and power jetted it, and all of a sudden I had water spitting up in the basement. When they did that, they probably broke the main connection. We'll find out later, but we're embarrassing ourselves here. And the only one I really recognize, he's my neighbor. I see him walking his dog, and I see you when I come up and grobble when I pay my water bill. But I hope to get to know you all better, and I hope it's, you know, fruitful. But this is kind of an embarrassment, and welcome. I didn't know we had a new police chief. That's how engaged I am. But I think that a little bit of common decency would go a long way, and it seems like somewhere we're losing that. And I don't know. There's always differences of opinion. If I didn't vote your way for the presidential race or whatever, but man, it's a great community, and we've got more in common than we have differences. I think you guys really should start centering on it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, may I address?
Yes.
for a moment? Mr. Johnson, I appreciate your comments, and I will agree that it is embarrassing, and it is this tit for tat. You'll never see me comment on any of that stuff on the internet. I think it's inappropriate, and I think that it continues to drive divide. I've long known Heidi, Mariah, Cody, and people that have a difference of opinion on it, and I will engage with anybody at any time, anywhere, and happy to talk to anybody one-on-one. And if you or anybody else sitting out here has any opinion as to how we can bridge our gap of differences and communicate together and bury some of the negativity, I think that it would go a long way for us, because we are a community that has a lot of likeness, a lot of similarities, and we enjoy doing the same things. And largely, we've always gotten along, even if you disagree on topics. And it's something that I agree, it's embarrassing. And for us to get back to the basics of communicating with each other when we have issues and talking and just being decent. I'd like to hear the recommendations, because I'll meet and discuss anything with anybody to try and bridge it for the betterment of our community, and I think we need to do that.
I appreciate that, and I wish I could say that I hadn't kind of like muddied the waters, because every once in a while I would go, oh my God, is this high school? You know, but so I'm guilty of doing some of the, you know, inflammatory statements. I'm not pearly white, but I'm just saying that I moved to get away from that political cancer that was in my town, and it's sad to see it here.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Any more comments? Anybody? No? Okay, that will take us next to our consent agenda. We have, let me start by reading all of them. We're going to start with bills of reference 15A and 15B, payroll 937, 938, and 939. City council minutes of 1/27/25, special city council minutes of 2/3/25, planning commission minutes of 11/19/24, DDA minutes of 11/19/24, beautification commission minutes of 2/3/25, and fire department payroll January 2025. So we would need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Discussion?
Mayor?
Yes?
Madam Mayor, as the treasurer, the custodian of the taxpayer funds, we're looking at a fire department payroll that's in the consent agenda up front, and not at the fire department call-outs in the back of the packet. So I want council to set their eyes on that if you could. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of information. And for a little bit of clarity here, we're into the final stages of the forensic audit. Preparations are ongoing, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have a conclusion. I've want you to look at this and try to understand it, because it isn't approved yet. And the reason it's not approved, it's because it gets approved at this meeting, and so it's subject to any changes you want to do with it. And this was a form that was presented, I think, on September 9th, when the former director engaged and had Deputy Chief Simon assigned the payroll duties, and that was taken away from the chief because of, as I think the director said, because he was too busy. So this is what I would call a working payroll. It's going to be subject to maybe an overall once we, if there's anything in the audit that we have to look at and change, but payroll's always a moving target here. We're still not comfortable with a lot of things we see. We've got eyes on it. We've got approvals, a lot more than what we've had in the past. But this is a 3-part payroll. It has to do with runs and shifts and in special services, as you'll see on the Excel spreadsheet. And the chief approves it. I think it's endorsed by Cindy, who prepares it. And therefore, if you have any questions on it, you should look at it tonight and state any questions that you might have. But moving forward, it's going to be this way unless we present it to council for a change. Amy, do you want to say, jump in on anything on here?
I was going to add, this is you guys approving it. So you're going to see this payroll again in your next packet because you've approved it and we're paying it out. So this is you guys saying it's okay for us to pay this out to the individuals. And then when you see it on the next one, it's already been paid out. The money has been deposited in dollar accounts. It's been processed through. So if there's any questions, it needs to be presented during this one, because the other one, it's already been processed through.
So one of the things that you'll notice is that in the first page on the spreadsheet, there's special services. That's blank, other than the total amounts on there. And I haven't really engaged with a full discussion on that. I'm going to wait till the audit is complete, but that the cells are empty. There's money in it, and the assignment of the special services are on the following page. So you'll have to set your eyes on that and try to apply the service against the wage. I think if there's some way of putting that up in that cell so that you can look at what special services are, I think it would help speed the approval process a little bit more.
So something I want to draw attention to real quick too. August 9th, there was a department wage scale that was sent out and approved. I'm not exactly sure on the date that it was approved, but for the shift rates, there was a maximum budget for the fire department for $1,500. And it looks like they may have exceeded that this month. I'm not sure how we get that back down to the $1,500 a month, but,
We revised it at a later meeting to give them extra money
okay,
to try and help with the mutual aid.
okay.
I can give you the schedule. I have it in here somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I'd appreciate that.
So things that we'll probably be talking about in the future will be how some of these hours are captured. Is there a time clock? Is it based on faith and so on and so forth? These are things that we're probably going to entertain in the future to make the reporting a little more stronger. So is there any questions on this?
It looks like we had 334 shift hours. Is that correct?
May I make a recommendation? This is the consent agenda, which is supposed to be an expedited approval of these items in here. If you guys can remove any item from the consent agenda if you want further discussion. So procedurally, I would recommend, if you want to discuss it, maybe remove it to Treasurer Fonte's section, just this item. So if someone wants to make a motion to remove a particular item, that would be the best course, so we don't muddy the consent agenda with this one item.
Understood.
So if you guys want to talk, you're more than welcome to, but I'd recommend procedurally, so it doesn't get muddy with the consent agenda, if someone wants to make the motion, remove it, put it in a separate section, have full discussion.
Anyone making a motion, or?
We do currently have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda, so if they want to amend it. Councilman Molnar, you made that motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'm good with it as is, and I think I'll study a little bit offline, be more prepared for next meeting to dig a little bit deeper into it. So I'm happy with the consent agenda proceeding as follows, unless Treasurer Fonte, there's anything.
No, I don't.
particular.
I don't have any issues with it. I just wanted to bring it to the attention of council, why it's sitting where it's sitting right now, and to bear eyes on it. It's a, I want to call it a living document right now, subject to change in the future, but we need to understand it. There's a lot of parts to it.
Okay, so we're leaving the motion stand on this right now, okay. So motion was by,
Molnar, seconded by McNabb.
we had the discussion, we're good. So, Katie, you want to call the roll?
Molnar,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Okay. That takes us to communications, and there is a GLWA or GLWA update dated 1/27/25. And I had a motion to receive and file, or are you going to talk about that? Do you want to? No?
If anybody wants discussion, then I will.
Okay. So I need a motion to receive and file the communication.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Okay? So discussion, did you want to?
Is there, it looks like proposed charges, have we, are we looking at increases? Did I see that 7.3%?
7.3% is the increase that GLWA's going to charge the city for wholesale water.
Okay.
So-
And then we have a process in place in which we evaluate and determine if.
We do have a process, but we are going to put that on hold. We just had a meter replaced back in late December. So when the meter reads were done in the beginning of January, it did not give us a full comparison of what's going on with water loss. So at this next time the meters are read, we'll get a good sense on what our water loss is and is not with the change in the meter. At last read, we were at 36% of the water loss, which is a huge loss. We have a company that the city council approved looking for water leaks. So far, they have found none going through the system. So we're assuming most, if not most of the water loss that was in that meter that was probably bad. So right now, I think the plan is probably, do nothing with them yet. These rates don't take effect until July 1st.
And they're not pass-through rates. We don't pass through the entire cost. We'll evaluate how we handle that. So the residents don't have to worry about that amount being passed through to them at current. Is that correct?
They're usually passed through. Usually if, they raise us 7.38%, usually we raise them 7.38% just so that we're staying, on a level.
And is this the same for the other cities that are customers of GLEWA?
Yes, yes.
It's normally like a 10 to 15 cent raise on the water rates for their charges.
And we have a chance to find out how much we recoup of losses through that meter, which will be a factor in however we do. make
Once
any
we
price
get data
adjustments.
from a quarter, and I'd like to see 2 quarters to see what it is, because I know before I had gotten here, that they had to raise the rates to make up for that water loss. So when we see a couple cycles of meter reads come in and we see what the water loss is, and see if we can get it down and stabilize to a normal number, then we'll look at what GLEWA charges us and what we charge the residents and see if we have to refigure. It may go up, may go down, may stay the same. We don't know. Because the water rates also encompass the sewer rates too. So not only does your water bill have the water rate, it has the sewer rate, so all that has to take into effect. One may go up, one may go down, they may stay the same, so.
And when we calculated out the formula, you also put in the amount of water that we use, the amount we're billed out, all of that, and there's a formula, and it calculates out what the difference is to tell us what would need to be charged. I think the most I've seen is like 18 cents, so.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Katie, can you call the roll?
Yep. Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Okay, that takes us to Mayor Shoemate's report, and he's not here tonight, so no report. That'll take us to council reports, and that'll be Councilman Valentine with the Recreation Commission and 33rd District Court.
I have no report for either the Recreation Commission or the 33rd District Court.
That takes me to my report for Beautification and Historical Museum. Flowers and Kubota parts have been ordered, and our next meeting will be March 3rd at 6 p.m. for beautification. The Historical Museum had a nice turnout the last couple Sundays ago, and we received some item donations from that meeting, so I appreciate all the donations that we get for the museum. And that's all I have for that. And that takes us to Councilman Cox for Planning Commission and DDA.
No report.
Okay. Councilman McNabb with Waterways Commission and ADW.
ADW, I had a visual or a meeting with them, and there's really nothing to report for the waterways or them. The next meeting is going to be more open, and there'll be more information. It's coming up.
Okay,
There are stuff in the future that they're going to have a meeting at the Waterways Museum here. That's coming up, I believe, in March. And that's where we're at.
okay.
Thank you.
Councilman Molnar?
Thank you very much. A couple items to mention. Tonight, we originally had at 4 o'clock a special meeting scheduled to interview Recreation Department applicants, and that was rescheduled until Monday of next week at 4 PM. We have at least 6 applicants, so it's nice to see that there is some, the pool of applicants is larger than we've experienced in some of our openings in the past. So that's 4 o'clock on Monday. That's been rescheduled too. We have some good applicants, and we got several of them. So that is a step in the right direction in filling that position. Another upcoming item is the Tiller Steer Aluminum Boat Race I mentioned before. It is the first Saturday in April, and hopefully the ice is gone and melted, and we don't have to dodge ice flows while we have a little bit of fun and open up our season on the water. So, that's all. Thank you.
Councilman Walden.
No report.
Next is Parks and Recreation Director, but we've already discussed the interviews for Monday night. That's it. And now for our city attorney.
Nothing to report.
Okay. That takes us to our city administrator, and let you get started.
Okay, first action I have tonight is awarding the bid for the assessing services that went out to WCA Assessing. They were the only bidder. There are only 2 or 3 of those companies in southeast Michigan that do that work, and the other companies chose not to bid on it, so I am asking City Council to approve WCA as our assessor, which they are already assessor, and improve the mayor and clerk to sign the contract with city attorney's approval on the contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
For discussion, Mike, I was surprised to see how many clients on their referral list were in fact, encompasses a lot of the municipalities in our area. Was the amount of their bids in line with the proposal that they gave us for renewal?
I didn't look exactly, it was fairly close.
Okay. I have nothing else.
Okay. Any more discussion? No? Okay, Katie?
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Okay.
Second thing I have on the agenda is City Council to approve the mayor to sign the 2023 to 2025 CDBG budget or agreement. The agreement between the city and CDBG through Wayne County was never signed. This is in effect from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2025. Any reimbursements that we get that was agreed upon in this agreement, we have not been getting because this agreement was never signed. So I need City Council to authorize the mayor to sign it so I can get it turned back in.
So motion to approve the execution of CDBG agreement with Wayne County.
Make that motion.
Second.
Second? Okay.
Are there any outstanding reimbursements that we're waiting for, just the signature on this for?
I'm not sure.
Yes, we probably are,
Yeah.
because remember we checked and we didn't see one.
Yeah, because it does, the only thing in this agreement was $20,000 for senior services, which we can recoup for our bus drivers driving the seniors around doing stuff, but we cannot submit that for reimbursement because that agreement was never signed.
And this was from, when in 2000, July of 2020?
It started July 1st of 2023, expires June 30th of this year, and I just got the new one for 2025 to 2027, which I will have in front of you guys probably end of May, beginning of June, for approval.
Well, better late than never, and it sounds like we're not actually missing out on any of the funds. We just,
Not yet.
18 months ago, we almost missed it, but nothing further.
Okay. No other discussion? Katie?
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Okay, last thing I have on the agenda is, back last month, DDA approved to help pay for a new UTV for the DPW. They agreed to pay 75% of the cost of the UTV, because the UTV will be used 75% of the time or more in the DDA area. I put a self-imposed limit on the price of the UTV of what I was seeing at that time. Since DDA approved it, I've been looking, those numbers are now higher. We found one for 17,000, which was the limit I asked DDA for. They're paying 14,500 of that, by the way. But we found one for 17,000, but it does not have a plow. So what I'm asking City Council for is to approve the other $2,500 for the UTV, and then they can put a plow on for us from McAllister Rental, because that's where this UTV is at, for additional $4,780. So I'm asking the City Council to approve the $2,500 plus the $4,780, so we can get a UTV with a plow. It's a 2022, so it's fairly newer, lower miles, and it should last the city for quite a while.
So it was 2,500 plus how much?
4780.
4780. Okay.
Michael, I know the treasurer sent an email about a separate unit. Did we inquire into that and see?
Which separate unit?
There's a separate unit with a plow. I know that you and I believe Amy were included on the email. So
There were a lot of them I was seeing, and most of them are over an hour drive to even look at. Some are 2-hour drives, some are 4-hour drives. The length of time it would take to make special trips to look at these and schedule times is almost not worth the time. The time can be spent doing better stuff.
Could we not, we can't get 3 bids on these things? And wasn't Enterprise supposed to give us a Gator? I mean, we could lease a Gator or something? I'm sure we can get a plow on a Gator, but we can't get 3 bids for these type of things?
Well, we are looking for, this is a used one, so we're looking on the used market, and there's not many dealers that deal with them. And if you want to compare apples to apples, because if you want a Kubota, you got to look at Kubotas. Because if you just put it out there, if you get a quote for a Kubota, a John Deere, or a Polaris, you're going to get 3 different prices because they're 3 different models. They have, and you're comparing apples to oranges when it comes to that.
Mike, if we approve this today, how soon can we get it?
It is sitting at the McAllister place right now. All they would all they would have to do is put a snow plow in on, and I don't know if they would have to order it. I don't know if they have it sitting in stock. They may have to order it. So probably a couple weeks.
Okay.
I think the snowplow sitting at a equipment facility that sells them. McAllister doesn't. So it'd have to be ordered there, and it might be I don't know if it's in stock or not. I don't know.
It seems like we should get something sooner or later, quite honestly, especially if DDA's already approved a significant portion of the funding. It's not a dramatic hit to us, and, this is one of the coldest, most precipitous winters we've had in a while, and we do have quite a stretch of city-owned sidewalk in areas to address, so probably want to do something sooner than later. Get something useful for our group to use.
The question I had on it, Mike, was, is the other plow better to have, the V plow where you can adjust? Or is that something that DPW wanted, the straight 6-foot plow?
Which one
There were two prices involved, and I think we took the lesser, but it's a 6-foot straight plow versus one that will hydraulically adjust into a V.
I think that's what this is, 6-foot V-plow blade assembly. Unless I'm reading it wrong.
One of the papers I read, it was there was two different prices.
Yeah, that was the Carlton Farms, that's not the same one.
Okay,
The Carlton Farms, that straight plow was 6,600 compared to 4,780.
okay, so is the plow coming from McAllister?
That's the price McAllister gave us, so wherever they're getting the plow from.
Yeah, because the
That was the price.
Councilman Muller's point, the sooner rather than later. So, I mean, if it comes a supply chain problem and we get the plow in spring, we've kind of defeated ourselves here.
Carlton Farms was the V plow for $6,000. Yeah, they're both V plows, the one from, yep, they're both 6-foot V plows. This one from McAllister is 4,780, and it's a 6-foot V plow also. So they're both 6-foot V plows.
Very good. Do they extend any type of warranty on something like this, since it's used?
The plow is not used, so that'll come with a warranty, and because the machine is used, any manufacturer warranty that's on it will still be viable till that runs out.
One more thing, because we don't have 3 bids, it takes a unanimous decision. All of us have to vote yes, right?
It'd be a question to confirm with our attorney, but I think that is the case.
Anything over a certain amount of
I
money?
believe your purchasing statement that you guys put forth recently does require that without 3 bids. It's for the betterment of the community, and you guys can unanimously approve it.
I can say that, it'd be a lot less expensive than one slip and fall accident to be taking up our time. I think it's something that needs to be done sooner than later, is mine. I think it's something that needs to be done sooner than later.
Still need a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll make the motion. I thought it was on the table, I thought we were discussing it. I make a motion to waive the formal bid process and procure this used UTV with the V-plow as explained.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? We're done? Katie?
All right, Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Walden.
Yes. That is it for me.
Engineering, or that's,
It takes
No,
us,
that was,
yep, understood.
well said. That takes us to our clerk.
All right, yep, I have one late addition that we approved with our agenda tonight. Is for the purchase of 2 new electronic poll book or EPB laptops for elections. Per the Bureau of Elections, there's federal funding available for elections through the Help America Vote Act, also known as HAVA. The available funds have to be incurred by the city by February 28th, and I'd like to update our electronic poll books, or EPBs. EPBs are laptops that are a required element on Election Day used to check in voters and issue their ballots. And our current EPB laptops are approaching 5 years old, so I'd like to take this grant opportunity to update them. The Bureau of Elections has required specifications for the laptops, and I've provided those specifications to our IT company to find 3 quotes for laptops that would fit these requirements. The 3 quotes are attached. We would need 2 laptops, 1 for each precinct. The lowest quote for 2 laptops is $1,484.66 for HP ProBooks. And it's my recommendation that council approves that quote for this purchase. These funds will be reimbursed through the HAVA grant. So to summarize, once again, I'm looking for approval for the purchase of 2 HP ProBook G11 laptops to be used as EPBs for elections from CDWG in the amount of $1,484.66, and that will be reimbursed by the federal grant funding.
And that's for both.
2 laptops, yep.
Do we need a motion to approve the laptops?
I'll make a motion to approve the laptops, approve the purchase of the laptops.
Second.
Okay.
Is this particular to just elections? Is there ability to piggyback for other purchases? I know that we've talked briefly that Treasurer Fonte does not have a computer to use, and didn't know if that was something that could fall into that if it's grant funded to.
The grant is for election equipment, but we can reach out to the IT company about using that quote
Okay,
but it just wouldn't be reimbursed through the election grant.
okay.
And if you wanted to do that, I would recommend laptop number 2, because it has a little bit more RAM.
Oh, my second quote.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, Katie?
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
All right, thank you, that's all I have.
Okay, that takes us to Treasurer Fonte.
Good evening, council. What I want to speak to tonight is construction management on the job that we have at the pump station to replace the catwalk, or to remove the catwalk and put new hatches on. I think it's a $68,000 job. It's been awarded, but it presents the challenges that we have at the city to manage this properly and pay properly and so on and so forth. There's a lot of moving parts to manage a project. There's AIA documents for pay applications that have to come in. There's bonds that have to be acquired, insurances, so on and so forth. Normally, a construction manager would be hired to do this. That will be in my second discussion, but to manage this job right now and for inspections and all that, that have to take place, the procurement of the materials, of where they're located, where they're stored, all the moving parts that required for a $2 million job are about the same for a $70,000 job. So if we're going to do it responsibly, we need somebody to manage these things. Now, I'm going to make a recommendation tonight. It's up to you, and it's up to the individual. I don't know if John Zont's here tonight, but my recommendation is John's part of John, are you here tonight? Yeah. He's part of our infrastructure committee. Well-respected, knows the business. He drew up the plans for this project. I would recommend that you engage him to be the inspector and to help the city manage this project between the requirements of the documents and what we have to acquire from the contractor for proper payments and pay applications, et cetera. That would be my first recommendation for that before we go into discussion on engineering contracts. So, do I need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we appoint John Zont as our representative to construction management and inspection of current city internally designed construction projects for payment purposes and the procurement and reconciling processes of required project management details.
Do we have your permission, John?
As long as we don't do it in April.
Wait,
I'm going in April.
okay.
Is there a second?
Second. Since he approved.
No other discussion?
Thank you for all your
Thank you,
volunteer
John.
work and the amount of effort that you put into it.
So the second thing would be,
Oh, hold on.
oh, I'm sorry.
To vote. We need to
Any more
vote.
discussion?
We have a
I
motion
thought it
on
was
the
a
table,
done deal.
sir.
Any more
No, there
discussion?
wasn't any more. I asked.
Okay.
Well,
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes,
Cox?
Yes.
okay, now we can move on.
All right. The Infrastructure Committee, before we move into the details on the engineering firm, it was formed, it's been in motion a couple times, but there's been a delay on having another meeting. Mike, I don't know if you're in charge of that, or if it's required to be, you to be in charge of that, or, if we can appoint somebody to run that lead on it while you're busy managing other things, that's your call. But I would suggest we form that committee back up and pay, list some details that we need to move forward on. There's a lot of things to do here.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue that role?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can
great.
continue that role, yeah.
Yeah, I got an inquiry tonight. One of the members wanted to know if we've dissolved it, and I said no, but if we're going to continue with it, we should get the rotation going pretty good. So the public knows the Horse Island Bridge is in the process of getting an engineering final load capacity report. The core details of the concrete extractions have been made, and the salt penetration into the concrete, that's been made also. They're going to blend that all into a report. He's done all the details of finding historical information on it, and hopefully, reading between the lines, that we're going to be able to remove the load capacity signs, and this is, a hunch, but if it proves from what I'm reading here, we'll be able to remove those load capacity signs and probably post signs that just restrict the length of the vehicle because of the cul-de-sac down at the south end. So the homeowners there should be elated over that if that, in fact, comes to fruition. But fingers crossed, there's a possibility that will happen sooner rather than later. So waiting on that report. But there's the West Jefferson water main, and other things that are kind of in the cold right now and needs to be poked a little bit so that these projects could get back online. Which brings me to the engineering firm's contract. I included that in your package tonight. We've kicked that can around a lot. My difficulty with the signature that I have to put on the check is that there doesn't seem to be an engagement with the engineer on an approval process on how he is approved to either execute jobs or report either on a time and material basis or a percent complete. So I'm always chasing the invoice, trying to figure out who approved what here. So I think we need to get into a discussion, not tonight, but I think you need to put it on an agenda or of some sort to figure out what you're going to do with an engineering firm and/or a construction manager, because it seems to me that we need more of a construction manager here than we need an engineering firm, and we might just need the engineering firm when we have the project. So that's my consideration for you tonight to think about.
So we talked about this, Rich, back when we were, to a degree, back when we were looking for city administrators back in February.
Right.
And one of the thoughts was that because in our city administrator also functions as the DPW director, that our pool of applicants when we were looking for city administrators might be narrowed to just people that have DPW experience. So we looked at extracting that DPW component from it so that we could broaden the size of our pool for city administrators. as such, we were looking at trying to form a position potentially for a engineer, construction manager, DPW director, kind of molded in one that didn't necessarily need to have any particular degree, professional degree for it, but who had the pedigree to be able to do construction management and handle bid documents and run those projects from the city's standpoint. We opted not to go that route ultimately, and Mr. Blackburn has the DPW experience that in the water license and handles that portion of it, but asking one person to also take on the role of handling the construction manager and engineering is, you know, a bit much, for sure. But I think that this stokes the question for how do we handle the problem that still exists. The problem, or the challenge, I should say, that still exists is managing these projects in a financially conservative manner, but also getting stuff done in a faster pace. And so I don't have a renewed proposal as to how we go about doing that. We know we have the need for somebody to manage those projects. We know we have the need for somebody to drive them and push them. So I do suggest that we maybe have a study session where we can look at how we can, what are the different models that we could adopt or consider adopting to where we can bring somebody in either on a part-time basis to handle these projects, because it's not a full-time position, or do we put together a bid proposal request that is on our terms and not on the terms of a generic contract or a bid proposal offered by others, something to where they match the terms of our request. So I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. A study session, I think, would be a good thing for us to do so we can figure out how we can get somebody on board. Because we have projects that need to be done. We have funding in place to do it, and we need to be more aggressive on managing them and getting them carried out. So I propose a study session to have this conversation, renew this discussion on the vendor or personnel that we need to help push these things forward.
Would you consider the study session before the next council meeting, not the one scheduled for Monday now being a special meeting, but
24th?
yeah, prior to the 24th meeting?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would you consider, I don't know Mr. Zont personally, but is he qualified in all these areas?
Just not in April.
I know not in April, but maybe on a part-time basis, we could ask Mr. Zont to oversee this stuff.
I think these are ideas we should discuss at the study session and kick some things around. I think the size of the projects that we're talking about, Mr. Zont might not want to be burdened with some of these future projects coming up. I don't want to speak on your behalf, but
What'd he say?
I did. What'd you say, John?
Not big ones.
Okay.
Not big ones.
All right. So it's definitely items to discuss during the study session, for sure.
I think we can also discuss on some of the projects in town here that don't require, you know, a full-blown engineer or construction manager, that instead of us offering designs on it, we turn that over to to the contractor to come up with the design build, so that we can get an engineering stamp on some of these smaller projects here and take that liability of design away from us in-house. So there's a lot of different avenues here, but one of the things that I'm going to try to do before the next meeting is drill down, like on the last project, the $2.6 million water main. That project, as I'm seeing it right now, it was I can't find any approval process now of how that project was let to the engineer. It seemed like if you have your contract in front of you, it seems like it was going in and out of between hourly time and material rates to percent of the project costs. And we probably have a variety of costs involved there. We quite, I don't know at this point in time if we have a total cost of what that was in engineering fees for us. So I'll bring that to the meeting so we can discuss that too. And because if, you know, we've got to get as conservative as we can with the money and the engineering firms and that if we're going to move these projects along. There was also a suggestion made that some of the neighboring communities use construction managers solely and bid the engineering for the project out, and the construction manager will handle that specific project. Now, I don't know if that's an individual doing it on a subcontract basis, or if it's a firm that's doing it. I'll look into that a little bit more. But there are a lot of moving parts, as some of us some of you on council that work in the industry know that there's a large file that goes with a project.
Yeah, one of our challenges too is it seems like anything south of Vreeland Road, you get less bidders on for whatever reason. So it's something that I think we should talk about at a study session, and if that 24th works, maybe an hour and a half before.
I was going to make a motion for 5:30 study session on the 24th.
I'll second it.
Do you think a half hour would be enough? Because the regular meeting's at 6 o'clock.
No, 6:30.
6:30?
6:30, I thought.
Okay. So is that
Oh, I thought an hour would be enough.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
For the motion and for the notice of the meeting, can you state the purpose of the study session?
So give me a second. Motion for a study session to discuss engineering services,
And construction management.
construction management services, and project outlines. How's that?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, so any further discussion? We have the date set, time. Okay, I'll call the roll.
All right. Mulnar,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
One other thing, Madam Mayor, is that I was talking to Bill Kane at DPW the other day, and he had mentioned that, Mike, that we still can't get granite liner in to finish some of the lining work here, and in particular, the stretch between, that runs through Parsons School area. There's two lines one line, but in two segments that need to be relined, and they're critical. So is Raines not active in this anymore? Because what I'm hearing is that if something doesn't move here, Granite Liner's not going to be able to entertain the prices that were locked in before. I could understand that too. So I think we need to move this along. Whatever lining that we have left, we need to get that done. So I would suggest we make a call to Raines and find out where we are on this and how we can accelerate getting Granite Liner back here to complete their work.
I'll call him tomorrow and find out status.
Because the way he painted the picture of the Parson line and this other line in particular, it sounds like, according to the visual on the video, it's bad, so it needs to be done. And why it wasn't done, we don't know.
Mike, let me know if I can assist you with that.
All right.
Didn't we withhold final payment on that until it's finished?
I think, Councilman, is they pay on
Completed.
when they complete a segment, Rain puts in an application for payment, and then it's paid. So there's no binding contract. It's just a kind of a moving.
Is there retention held on that contract right now?
I'm not sure. That's been,
That brings,
a while.
that brings up a lot of questions that need to be discussed in the study session, because none of this is on an AIA document. It's on a document, but not a document that would, that's required on,
and I think we've had 3 city administrators during that project, so,
Well,
yeah.
Amy brings up another point too, because that's the problem. Mike is kind of running aimlessly right now because there's not a lot that he can find that backs into these projects. And that's another problem we have with who's managing these projects and where we find the materials and the data for it. That's another topic we should talk about and how we procure that too. Because we're pretty much rudderless on some of this.
That's why it's important for this
Well,
infrastructure.
Yes.
Mike, here's what I'll do. I'll call them, all right? Find out what the status of this is, and I'll let you know what I'm informed on and when the scheduled date would be for them to complete their project. All right?
And then, Mike, I would just get a meeting, get the feelers out to the infrastructure committee so we could meet, maybe even have them at the study session if you could, for their input.
All right.
Because there's a lot of people that'll help here, but we need some direction.
It was just once a month, and there was a lot of input.
Any more discussion? Are we still?
One more thing, to Mr. Johnson. Is he gone? Oh. Chief, help me out here. On water main breaks that you want to be informed of, there's a, what do they call it, Nixley?
Yeah, there's Nixle, and then there's Facebook and the City of Gibraltar website.
You know,
Go
I
to
think there-
Facebook.
Yeah, they used to be, yeah, they used to get them on text, and I think there's some problems with that. Now it's strictly email or Facebook. Yeah, but it helps. It gives you an alert in, yeah, yeah. So far, the best information is from Facebook. They know faster than anybody.
City of Gibraltar does a really good job.
Yeah, everybody does it. There's just sometimes you.
All set? Yep. Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Over to Finance Director McEwen.
In your packet, I have earned Sick Time Act language to be put in our policy manuals. Beginning February 21st, we will be required by law to provide accrued sick time to our part-time employees. So I went through and created a policy. I also had the attorney look over it in order to get this put into our manual so that we have documentation and can inform our part-time employees. So I would need a motion to add that language to our policy manual and distribute it to our employees.
Motion to add the approved ESTA language to the policy manual and distribute to the current part-time employees.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Do you have a budget impact on this at all, or expected budget impact?
Not yet, no. It's kind of weird because it applies to our volunteer firefighters and our election workers as well as our regular part-time. So this is kind of going to be something that I'm going to see how it goes a little bit. Our part-timers do not make that much an hour, though. It's only like $14.50 an hour, so.
And this is, I mean, but it's a federal act that requires this?
State.
Oh, state, I'm sorry.
And in the act, it states that for every 30 hours the employee works, they earn 1 hour of sick time. So it'll take a while to even get to an 8-hour day.
And it says that we're not going to pay out unused as well, so.
Understood, okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
And we're not allowing people to use them before they earn them?
Before what?
They're accrual, correct?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think you can, but I don't, we haven't had it happen yet, so.
Good, all right, thank you.
Okay. Katie?
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Okay, so, yay, that's off my plate. That's been on my plate for a bit. And then that's all I really got for this meeting, unless anybody has any questions. I'm always in my office. I'm always available via email. Any questions, comments, concerns about budgets or invoices. Mr. Fonte knows I usually respond pretty quickly to my email, so it's a good way to get a hold of me. That's it.
Okay, thank you. That takes us next to Police Chief and Public Safety Director Bullard.
Mrs. Mayor and Council, since the last meeting, the Police Department responded to 164 calls for service, 27 incident reports, 3 arrests, 16 traffic citations, 2 juvenile school resource officer investigations, and 5 Detective Bureau investigations. Upcoming events, on January 30th, I posted for the position of school resource officer for Carlson High School due to the recent promotions. I received 2 applicants, and the interviews are scheduled for February 26th. City Administrator Blackburn and I met with Actron Cameras. We did a walkthrough of the municipal buildings, looking to upgrade or add some cameras, including the Guild Talbert, Cook Community Center. A new traffic study has begun at Adams and Addison. This was after the installation of the new stop signs. There was a study conducted prior to that on Dennison Street in between Middle Gibraltar and Blakely, and a stop sign is not justified in between that short span of street. And the stats are in your packets. I also reached out to Norfolk Southern and Canadian National on the condition of the railroad tracks on Middle Gibraltar Road. Both of them were emailed, and I'm requesting them to be repaired. I also gave accommodations to a Brooke Cafaldi and a Jarrett Burkhalter. I gave them a nice certificate and a challenge coin. On October 10th, 2024, our officers in the fire department responded to Humbug Marina on a report of a boat fire. These 2 residents assisted 2 of the residents off the boat. So that was, if it wasn't for their efforts, things could have been a lot worse. Also attached to your packets is an unsigned agreement. It's going to have to be signed by the mayor and the clerk on a agreement to house short-term prisoners in the city of Flat Rock. They have the facilities. It's rare, but sometimes it does happen where if they're sentenced for 10 days, rather than having them sent to Wayne County, we'll take them to the Flat Rock Police Department. The fee is $35 a day per prisoner, and that's comparable to the Wayne County Jail.
Do you need a motion for
Is that
that?
an action item?
It's,
Yeah. Need a motion for that?
yes, if I can get a motion from council.
Okay,
Make that motion.
Second.
motion, second?
And I know that, I believe that that's a renewal, something that we do.
We've
yeah.
done it since I've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annually.
Okay. Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Also, an interview was conducted for a police officer candidate on February 5th, and a background investigation is currently underway. Attached to my report is the records clerk report, the all traffic solutions report that I spoke about on Dennison, and the current study on Adams and Addison. The ordinance officer's report, and I have no action items, and I will also be doing the fire department's report tonight. For the fire department, since the last council meeting, they had 22 calls, 19 rescues, 3 fires, which included carbon monoxide detector, smoke alarms, 0 mutual aids, and 0 auto aids. Chief Bill Kane is working on hosting an EMT class, per his report. And he's also sending 2 personnel to the rail car class at Ash Township Fire Department. This class is also paid for by Monroe County. This is train the trainer type class, so when they come back from the class, they'll train the rest of the department. Chief Kane did give out 3 notices for fire department personnel that are failing to comply with the mandatory calls per month, and he's awaiting acknowledgement from those 3 employees. The fire department does have 1 action item, and that is to surplus a 2003 E450 ambulance. It's at the end of its life. It was being used as a water rescue vehicle, but it's not feasible due to the maintenance costs, and that's going to be transferred over to the current F-350 with the kayak racks on the bed of the truck. So I'm looking for a motion to surplus that ambulance.
Motion to surplus an ambulance.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Do we know the mileage on that ambulance?
I'm going to take a guess. 30,000, I think is what is on it,
2003?
but it's a 2003.
All right.
So, and right now it has no use. It's just sitting in the fire department. So,
And we never actually used it as the water rescue vehicle.
Not to my knowledge.
not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
That's the end of my reports. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to unfinished business. There is none. New business, there is none. Tabled and referred items, there is none. And back to public comment. Anybody wants?
Wayne Brandon, 30490 South Gibraltar Road. Back to your ATV, are you gonna go back to the, to get the extra money from the DDA?
No, I'm just asking to see you pick up the full price of the
Okay,
plow.
I was just curious, because they've got more money than the city does right now, I believe, and I know a lot of it's bond money, but I just thought maybe that'd be because I just figured it's roughly $1,500, so if they could get it up it a little more, be fine.
Any more comments? No? Okay, then the motion to adjourn.
Make it.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, Katie?
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Mariah,